It's time for a cup of coffee with Will and Chris at Slumberland Furniture. From Slumberland Furniture in Osage Beach, here are your hosts, William Holtz and Chris Schneider.
And we're back for another edition of A Cup of Coffee with Uncle Chris and Wild Will right here at Slumberland at the lake. And man, it was a really good weekend at the lake. Aquapalooza was awesome.
Yeah, it was. A lot of people out there, and Captain Ron's seems to be a great place for that new venue out there.
Yeah, it was a great event at Ron's. We also had crazy tragic story on the strip. Of course, everyone heard about the biker brawl that turned deadly. We'll talk about that. The fun run with Alicia Machino and Scott Page.
And they're back.
In the books, we'll talk about how they did in that crazy journey. And another thing, I got here this morning and there was a duck walking around Slumberland at the lake, which is kind of peculiar for July.
Yeah.
But we'll tell you all about that, why that duck was here. But first, let's hear from our good friend Daryl Cunningham with Slumberland at the lake.
Hi everyone, Daryl Cunningham with Slumberland Furniture at the lake. It's hard to believe July is almost gone. About 2/3 of the summer, in fact. But you've got that 1/3 left. Come in, get sofas, dining sets, bedroom sets, mattresses. We've got them all ready to go right here at Slumberland Furniture at the lake, where we're bringing happy home.
And we're back at Slumberland for a cup of coffee, and you guys saw that crazy duck running around all over the place. Reason being, there's a huge upcoming event around the lake, and to tell us more, it is the president of the Ozarks Coast Kiwanis Club, Dylan Carver. What's going on, brother?
Oh, not much. Been busy. How you been?
Fantastic. Now, if I would have got the memo that you were going to come all slicked up and looking sharp, I would have wore something nicer than this, man.
Hey, come to my closet anytime. I can check it out.
You're a good man. So we saw the duck, and we love this event every year. And this is the 14th annual Great Bagnell Dam Duck Drop along with golf tournament. So tell us everything there is to know.
It is. So every year, Ozark Coast Kiwanis puts this great event on, and happening usually the first Friday in August. So this year it's happening Friday, August 6th for the golf tournament, and then Saturday, August 7th for the Duck Drop Family Fun Zone, which that's the best part of the event, is the Saturday portion. So that's when actually 5,000 rubber duckies will fly.
Yeah, it's super cool. And leading up to that, you talked about the Family Fun Zone, and that's down there beneath the dam. Talk about all the cool activities you guys got going on that day.
Yeah, so from 10 to 12 at the Family Fun Zone down below Bagnell Dam, we'll have bounce houses, we'll have snow cones, we'll have cotton candy. We have a hot dog lunch sponsored by Hy-Vee for all the kids. And the best part is, it's completely free for the kids. So the parents don't have to pay an entry fee for their kids to get in. We want to make it a family fun filled day for the kids of the community. Parents can come out, get duck drop tickets that day for that chance to win that big ultimate prize, which we'll talk about in a second. But from 10 to 12 is the Family Fun Zone. You don't want to be late because at 12 o'clock, the ducks are flying.
And in years past, you guys have had live music. Will there be live music this year down there?
Yes, there'll be some live entertainment going on, and then along with the bounce houses, well, I think we're having a duck tank out there as well. So it's a fun event, and like I said, I just can't talk enough about it. It's always a blast. It goes by quick, but the kids love it. We actually got some clowns out there, some face painters. We'll have little kids. I think we've got a duck race going on this year. So get out there, get your tickets, come to the event, and it's just blast.
And before we start talking about the big deal, the duck drop, talk a little about the golf tournament Friday, because I do understand not only are there still some teams available or some entries for some teams, but there's also some sponsorship opportunities still available.
Correct. So we're mixing ducks with deer, because the golf tournament's at Deer Chase this year, which is obviously known for seeing a lot of deer out there, but this year you're going to be seeing a lot of ducks out there. So this is one of the quackiest tournaments at the lake, believe it or not. And what we do is we set up ducks on the course. I mean, we've got obstacles obstacles. You got ducks to putt around. You got ducks to hit. You got ducks to aim at. You name it, there's a duck going on in every single hole. And we have a wonderful event. We got a lot of prizes given out. We are still looking for a few golf teams. It's one of the tournaments that fills up quickly. We're a couple weeks out, so if you're still interested in getting a golf team for a four-person scramble, get in contact with us. You can actually go online and register that golf team. It's flawless. You can be a sponsor. We're always very open to new sponsors. We love our current sponsors that give every single year. We rely so much on them, and they just keep coming back and back.
All right, now that the golf tournament is covered, we got the Family Fun Zone from 10 to noon. Then at noon, it is the coolest thing that takes place, and that is the Great Duck Drop. Talk about the tickets and the prizes and how this all kind of shakes out.
It is. So the grand prize, believe it or not, is a $5,000 check.
Wow. I want that. I want that.
Well, I brought you the winning ticket today.
Oh, fantastic.
So if your duck crosses the finish line first and your number corresponds to your duck that crossed first, you're going to walk away with $5,000. Second prize is $1,000. Third prize is $500, and we give out prizes all the way, usually the top 20. So we'll do some random pulls of there because, ducks like to cluster together.
Yeah.
So, the fast ones want to swim away, but ducks like to cluster together. So we'll do some random pulls as well. But again, the top prize is that ultimate what you're aiming for. So 2 years ago, we actually sold the winning duck that day. So if you haven't got your tickets, it's not too late. You want to get out there. We sell these puppies for $5 each to win $5,000, or 6 for $20. And I'm a finance guy, so 6 for $20 is a bargain.
It's like a $10 savings. Sign me up. Okay, so when people start talking about the duck drop, talk us through how they go up in the helicopter and exactly how that works, because some people don't realize you actually drop these ducks from above the water.
We do. So, this is the 14th annual one. First year we started with live ducks. I'm just kidding, kids. We got rubber duckies. So they take them up into the helicopter. So we drop a big portion from the helicopter, and then the rest are actually dropping from the side of a pontoon boat. Because believe it or not, helicopter can only have so much weight.
Right.
And as small as a rubber ducky is, well, if you've got 1,000 of them, that's a lot of weight. So we'll have a gentleman up in the helicopter as they fly over the Bagnell Dam or the Osage River. They're dropping them out. It's pretty cool to see these little ducks falling. I was in a boat last year, and they're like little missiles coming down. So you got to dodge them, to be honest, because they're hitting the water, they're popping back up. And then a couple years ago, we had Ameren had the dam open, and that was the quickest tournament I've ever seen, or the quickest race I've ever seen.
Wow.
So it's a fun event. Like I said, the ducks, they fly sharp at noon, so you don't want to be late if you want to see the helicopter drop these rubber ducks.
All right, so the way they get tickets is they contact William Holtz, because officially I am coming for you, Waggets. I know you guys typically sell thousands of tickets yourself. Well, this year you're going to be outdone. And if not this year, next year, but we're going to try it. So you can get tickets by going online, correct?
You can. So you can go to the Great Bagnell Dam Duck Drop online. There's links on Facebook. There's links on Google. Just go to the Great Bagnell Dam Duck Drop. You have sponsorship opportunities, whole sponsor opportunities for the golf tournament, and then the most important, these winning tickets right here. So if you want one, get them online, or stop by a Central Bank location, stop by Hy-Vee, they're selling tickets, or come see me at my office at Route KK. I'll get you tickets, because as the Waggets sell, I'm trying to beat them too. So with that being said, I'm actually going to sell these 6 to Will today. He just doesn't know it, but I'm selling to him right now.
I got it for $20, no doubt. But I want you to leave me with a whole bunch, because seriously, if you guys want tickets, contact us on Facebook, message us, get a hold of us, and we've got them. And Mr. Carver's coming for the Waggets. I'm really coming for you and the Waggets. Dylan, thank you so much, man. We'll look forward to seeing you out there on August 7th and hopefully the 6th for that golf tournament, because that sounds like a lot of fun.
Exactly. It's a blast.
We'll be right back after this.
Want to get to know local leaders a lot better? Join Lake TV for a new Community Spotlight show weekdays at 9, 3, and 7. We talk with local leaders to get their story and learn more about their organizations. It's the Community Spotlight show on Lake TV.
So that was cool, and I'm telling you, now that I've got tickets in hand, I'm going to sell those tickets. So if you guys want to buy a ticket to this year's annual Duck Drop, they're $5 a piece or 6 for $20. So contact any of us at Lake TV, and we'd be happy to hook you up. Someone's going to win $5,000.
Yeah. Well, and you threw it down with the Wagons. I mean, it's mano a mano with the Wagons. So
yeah, they've got a lot more
beat 'em.
friends, and they've got like a 500 ticket head start, I'm sure. So
Yeah.
we'll see it. And listen, if I don't find a way to pull off a Christmas miracle and sell more tickets than them, then it's going to happen next year. 'Cause I
Christmas
gotta
in
know.
July, man. That's right.
Ducks in July, Christmas in July. Speaking of Christmas in July, it is the Christmas in July 5K this Saturday at the YMCA. I know it wasn't time to talk events, but since you said Christmas in July,
that's right in.
you can go online and sign up for that at the YMCA's website. Really cool. I know Ricky and Andy are going to be at that event. They've been asking me to be there, which I'm not so sure that's a good idea. But
I don't know. You ran a mile last night, so you're ready to go, man.
speaking of Christmas miracles, I'm paying for it right now. Thanks for bringing that up. So Aquapalooza, first year after a 1-year hiatus. First year it's at Captain Ron's, and really good turnout. Seemed to be more spread out, and it was incident free, which was the great part.
Gotta love that. Yeah, and yeah, I mean, I'm fairly new at the lake, so I really don't know what the history is of these things. So I asked you yesterday, I said, how did it turn out? I heard that maybe the turnout was low, and you said, no, the turnout was great. There was just actually more room for everything.
Yeah.
How perfect is that?
Yeah, and the coolest sight that I saw was how many families were on the beach. It was packed. I mean, it was really cool. Great food, great cold drinks, and all in all, very successful event. And all the parking they charged for, that all went to charity. So that was another cool thing. Big shout out to Benny Media and, of course, Captain Ron's. And great music, man. I'll tell you, those 4 bands they had out there were pretty solid. I caught 3 of the 4, and it was good music
What
out
a
there.
perfect place for that. In that cove, it's a big cove, so plenty of room for the boats and all that good stuff. The beaches you got. I mean, I think they've found a really perfect home. Just more work for Ron Dugan, Captain Ron. I'm sure it's more work for them, but they did a great job.
All right, so Aquapalooza in the books. The next story was all over. Sad story. The biker brawl on the strip turns deadly. Man, just crazy. 3 biker gangs were mentioned in the reports. 2 charged so far, 1 dead. What can you tell us about this,
So
Chris?
Blaine Scott Curley, 25 years old, of Camdenton, he's the guy that was killed. Actually from so many, I talked to several people who knew Blaine and said he's a great guy, really a good guy. Just happened to be caught up in the wrong situation there, apparently. So he was the guy killed in the shooting. Authorities have charged a second man in that gun battle. And they've identified the 3 motorcycle clubs. So Daniel Kurtzborn, 38 years old, of Iberia, is the second guy that is charged in this. Tonkaway Khan Ponder was also charged with felony assault first. So those 2 people have been charged in the shooting, in the killing. Investigators say all the people involved in the fight appear to be affiliated with the motorcycle clubs, really motorcycle gangs, from what we understand. The Midwest Drifters, the Galloping Goose, and the Mongols are the 3 motorcycle clubs. According to the probable cause document, mostly members of the Midwest Drifters and the Galloping Goose were involved in this, and started out as a fist fight apparently, and evolved into somebody pulling a gun and shots being fired. And if you see the video of that, courtesy of Lake Expo and Lake TV, there are a lot of shots fired.
Yeah, a lot. Very sad deal. And, you know, according to Lake Expo's reports, you kind of just said this, but mostly members of the Midwest Drifters and Galloping Goose were standing near the front of Casablanca talking. Then authorities say 6 members of the Mongols exited the restaurant from the front door, and one of the members of the Mongols had words with some of the men on the porch, and that's when the fight broke out. And apparently Curley had went to hit somebody with a helmet and then pulled out his gun, pointing it at Tonka Waycon Ponder. And Ponder, he did not take lightly. He took his gun out and then fired numerous shots. And just a heartbreaking thing to happen right here in our hometown. Heartbreaking that it happened to an individual that was so highly regarded. You know, a lot of negative things were said early on about, you know, biker gangs. That stuff doesn't need to be coming to our hometown. Well, it was people from our hometown. And as you said, just an unfortunate situation. And from what I had heard about Mr. Curley, was he got in trouble a lot in school, but it was always for standing up for other people. And a lot of people, obviously you don't know for sure, but said that was most likely what happened. Was he was probably standing up for members of what he considered his group, his family, the Mongols, and just a sad story. And that is the first ever fatal shooting in Lake Ozark, authorities said, and city officials had said, and just a really sad deal. And Chris, that's the second or third shooting just in that general area. Of course, the one a few months ago where the guy was standing on the strip, and then of course the murder that happened down at Lazy Gators. So just scary, and it's hard to think that right here at Lake of the Ozarks you're having these things happen, and for those watching, it's really not the norm. And everyone in that story, and on behalf of the city and even the Casablanca, said there's an isolated incident, but still nonetheless just heartbreaking.
Yeah, it really is. And it was interesting too to see the way the mayor, he put out a statement real quickly saying, we apologize to the citizens. This is not the norm. This is the first fatal shooting here, and we're going to clean this up and try to make sure this doesn't happen again. So that was all good to see the response of that, but it is a little alarming, when you think about something like that happening, because the Strip is where we all go.
Yeah.
You have people come in town, you take them to the Strip at least once, right?
Yeah.
You go down there and stuff, and there's such great businesses down there, so we do need to make sure that doesn't happen again. But it is spooky, and it's really sad that it happened.
So from one heartbreaking headline to another scary headline or situation that took place, initial reports, of course, from the ever popular Lake Area Happenings. Never really know how factual stuff is, but there were reports that someone had fallen at Malted Monkey Sunday night, and the initial reports fell 15 feet. So I reached out to owner George Tucker, and he said no, it was not a customer. It was a employee that didn't follow protocol, and they fell 8 feet, not incredibly seriously injured, thank the Lord.
Yeah.
But it is important to note that it was an employee there not working with a paying member going up there, and so they've never had an incident where anyone's gotten hurt after paying admission and going up on the Sky Trail ropes course. So nothing to worry about. That was an isolated incident, the matter of an employee not doing what they were supposed to, probably trying to have a little fun. And so luckily there no one got seriously injured, but you shouldn't fear if you want to go and take part in the Sky Trail. It's always scary when you see things like that in Lake Area Happenings, because it scares people, and sometimes for not good reason, and this isn't good reason to get scared. Like I said, it was not somebody there who was trying to enjoy the venue. So
yeah, and that they George and the whole staff over there, they go to great lengths to be safe. And we've seen you up there on the you did a small business tour, and you were up and doing all that. It is very safe if you do it the right way, right? And we were talking about it earlier. I can see me, if I was working there as an employee, I'm going, okay, I'm not going to be safe about that. I'm just going to go do this. It'll be all right. And then you fall and you hurt yourself. You can kind of see as an employee how that could happen. But yeah, that wouldn't be something that I would be fearful of, though, moving forward.
Right. Yeah, and we wanted to say that just because anytime you see something like that, it is a little alarming. Okay. In our next story, we've talked about the last couple weeks. So the fun run with Alicia Machino and Scott Page. Yeah. And 310 miles in 10 days they did to raise money for Wonderland Camp. And I was doing the math, because a 5K is 3.1 miles. They ran an average of 10 5Ks a day for 10 straight days to accomplish 100 5Ks over the course of 10 days. I would have rather donated $5,000 out of my own pocket besides run 310 miles over the course of 10 days.
It's going to cost me $5,000 just in medical bills when I get back from that, But and they do it for charity, right? Just absolute. Again, we get back to why this community is so special,
right?
Because you got people like that that will, literally run 310 miles over 10 days to raise money for charity, beat themselves up, and we see that during the shootout every year. Yeah. We see that at so many events, the duck drop. Where people give of their time to make the event happen, and so much money goes to charity.
So exactly, it was 314 miles. They ran from July 9th and wrapped up Sunday the 18th, and they started at Durana Landing, Missouri, and they finished at Castle Rock, Georgia. They did complete, and I talked with Scott. He said they did meet the 5,000, or going to meet the 5,000 goal, maybe even more. and he said it was the toughest thing I've ever done, but one of the best. It was great to get out of my comfort zone and try something that had a real risk of failure. Because, I mean, if you twist an ankle, if the blisters get so bad that it's unbearable, you're not going to be able to finish, and they both did. He said, Alicia and I made a great team. We're happy to complete the race and to raise money for Wonderland Camp along the way. So just amazing. And I also got a quote from Alicia as well this morning.
I loved seeing the pictures of them during this, you know. I mean, you can tell it was tough, man.
Oh.
I mean, that was rough, but so glad they're back safe.
I hardly got here this morning after running 1 mile.
1 mile.
And they're running an average of 31 for 10 consecutive days. Alicia said, this was by far the hardest physical and mental thing I have done. I was pushed to my limit more than once, and I treasure that because we are often not challenged to that extent. That being said, knowing people were supporting us made it easier to get back up and keep going. I'm very grateful for this experience. So 2 special individuals and just an amazing accomplishment. Man, 105 Ks over the course of 10 days is just crazy.
That is.
So they were awesome.
And both those people, I mean, this one was for charity, but this wasn't just a one-off. They do a lot of stuff for a lot of charities, because I know she works with the FCA a lot. I think she's a part of the run that the FCA does, right? The Bridge and Dam run.
Yeah, very involved. And she's a lot of fun, too.
Yeah.
Really funny. A couple years ago at the FCA, they had a video making fun of her for their running gear and stuff. And, you know, she's come a long way, and to pull that off is amazing job. So our next story, we talk about the black bear that's become pretty famous around the lake. It's been everywhere, and pretty crazy video caught courtesy of Scuttlebutt's Bar and Grill on July 7th. Check this one out. You see the bear comes into your shot right here, almost gets hit by that semi-truck going by, and then turns around and runs off. Of course, again, that video courtesy of Scuttlebutt's. But man, imagine driving down, you know, 54 and seeing that, and then, you know, you almost hit it, then it turns the other way and runs away. You're like, did I just see a bear almost run in front of my car?
Well, and he's like running around through the buildings and parking lots. I mean, just think if you're walking out of, you know, the pharmacy there, or Scuttlebutt's or something, all of a sudden here's this bear running at you. What are you going to do? You know, I mean,
don't play dead, okay?
Do not play dead.
We said that so confidently that first time. All you got to do is just play dead, you'll be fine.
No.
A lot of people were like, you definitely don't play dead. So, all right, so that was a pretty cool video. And another headline, after 13 years, Lake Ozark finally out of trouble over the sewage that was spilling into the lake. So kind of a nasty headline, but now they're out of trouble. So is the problem resolved?
Well, apparently this all started September 2007 when the Missouri Department of Natural Resources, the DNR, was alerted by an individual that raw sewage was flowing into the Lake of the Ozarks, right? Okay, not good. The DNR discovered that a lift station on Horseshoe Bend Parkway had failed and was allowing between 10,000 and 15,000 gallons of raw sewage to flow into the lake. Okay, so this was back in 2007. So the city since then has been working to fix all the different parts of the problem. So since 2007, that's what, 14 years that it took, 14 years to get this finally completed and done. The city has between 300 and 400 now grinder pumps. I don't even want to know what grinder pumps are.
No, thank you.
In the sewage system, right? So they've got these grinder pumps, lift stations that serve the community. All of those had to be upgraded or replaced to meet the subsequent court order because the courts got involved in this, obviously. And over the decade, the city worked to make the mandated improvements, doing some of the work internally. And part of what they needed to do, rehab 9 of the lift stations. I don't know what a lift station is. I'm guessing it helps pump the stuff.
Your guess is as good as mine.
They replaced hundreds of grinder pumps and control panels, okay, and again, we don't want to get into whatever those do. Cleaned and closed-circuit television inspected the gravity flow of the sewer system. All the sewers are, you know, of course, things run downhill, right?
The important thing is, Uncle Chris, let's just wrap it up and say after 13 years, Lake Ozark's finally out of trouble.
They got it cleaned up, hopefully.
They got it cleaned up,
Raw sewage is not, you know, and it's funny, it's not funny, but it's funny.
That's because we have immature senses of
yes,
humor.
we do.
You know, there's nothing funnier than that stuff.
But this
that crap to us.
This has been an issue with the Lake of the Ozarks because, you know, it hasn't been. We've had so many people coming in, and you know, they had old septic systems near the lake, you know, and new things, new rules. You got to move it back and all that. So all of this has been being cleaned up over years, and this was obviously pretty egregious. So
talk about sewage, the NFL
Ooh.
in the sewer,
Ooh.
and in a day and age where everybody, you know, is trying to be politically correct, whether it's pushing their stance on COVID, whether it's pushing their stance politically, whether it's pushing their stance on Black Lives Matter, police brutality, or whatever it would be. You were just hoping that the NFL wouldn't go far enough where they'd make me mad and I'd want to stop watching football.
Right, and we've talked about this before, where I was kind of already off the NFL because of the kneeling thing and all that stuff. You were still hanging in there.
And I still may be, but boy, have I been really put off by a recent headline in regards to a campaign the NFL is doing. I just wanted to tease that because next week we're going to break that down and show you how wrong the NFL got this one. They've actually opened themselves up to a lawsuit, and they'll definitely lose that lawsuit, and it's just another sad situation that's going on in mainstream media and all these sports organizations, but that is the way the world is going. So tune in next week for that because we'll talk about that in depth, and it's
Great
very
story. Yeah,
interesting.
absolutely.
Okay, so our weekly segments. Every week, Uncle Chris typically brings us some kind of inspiration in the form of Uncle Chris's weekly inspirational quote.
Okay, this comes from the great one, Wayne Gretzky, right? A great hockey player. He said, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right? Hey, short and sweet. If you're going to succeed, you're going to have to take the shot.
That's right. Michael Jordan also said something like that,
Yeah.
you know, and he missed, as you said a couple weeks ago, how many you said at B&I, how many game-losing shots he took or how many game-winning shots he took and didn't make.
Yeah.
So I love that. And then, of course, we've only got a few minutes left, but it's a lot going on around the lake this weekend. Kirby School of Wake Day Camp, the next 3 Fridays, July 23rd, 30th, and August 6th. Pretty cool. You can go and you can learn to wake surf. You go to kirbyschoolofwake.com to find out more. I did tell you about the Christmas in July 5K at the YMCA. Go to lakeymca.org for that. And the amphitheater, a little quiet last week and a half plus with no concerts. But on the 30th of this month, the Beach Boys will be taking over the Ozarks Amphitheater.
Really?
Go to
Wow.
ozarksamp.com. And then Little Bobber swim lessons are going to be offered by the Marine Dealers Association. You can see the photo on your screen right here. You go on to facebook.com/marine dealers, and their most recent post is about this swim lesson for the littles. Pretty cool. They've even called it Little Bobber's swim lessons. So
Has
pretty
your
cool
little
deal.
Brindley been in the water yet? Can she swim?
Oh yeah. Well, she can't swim without, floaties
A little bit of help.
a little bit of help, but she loves the water, no doubt about it. And then after those events we've told you about, a lot happening this week on Lake TV.
Yes, indeed. Okay, so we're gearing up for Shootout, right? And now Aquapalooza's in the rearview mirror. Shootout, the next huge event coming up, biggest event at the lake every year. So on the Community Spotlight Show on Lake TV, which you can see at 9 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, 7 o'clock in the evening, every day, 7 days a week, new guest every week. So this week, we've got the husband-wife team of the Mawsons, Tiffany and Mark, right? And one of the power couples of the community, Mark with the lift company,
Polylift
Boat Lifts, and Tiffany does insurance. And so they're both very successful, but they both give a ton of time to the shootout. So we talk with them about that and the events they're a part of, including the ride,
The Wish
Dream
Around a
Ride.
Yeah, really cool event for those less fortunate with some kind of disability or terminal disease. They get to go in helicopters and ride speedboats, so that's really, really cool. We've also got Weekend at the Lake with Bob Spicer this week. New edition coming out tomorrow or Thursday if you're watching this later in the week. What's Burning with Kevin KB Burns. That's coming. You'll have Randy Kent. Speaking of Shootout, Randy giving away 2 incredible cars, and KB has the lowdown on that with the newest inductee to the Bob Morgan Lake of the Ozarks Shootout Memorial Hall of Fame.
He gets to drive
Randy
some of those
Kent.
cars, doesn't
No,
he?
he didn't, because we didn't get to take him out. But you will get an inside look, so that's super cool. And then our nonprofit of the month presented by Hy-Vee was with the Forget Me Not Horse Rescue and Sanctuary, and that was phenomenal. Good work that the ladies out there are doing. Man, just an amazing organization, so you'll want to check that out on Lake TV. And as we wrap up this week, Uncle Chris, big shout out to Joe Ray and the crew here at Slumberland. Of course, Dylan Carver, our Duck, and Katie Royal with the Ozarks Coast Kiwanis Club. And then, of course, Andrew Evans, Ricky Smith, Megan Albers. This is Uncle Chris. I'm Wild Will. We'll see you next week.